Well, good afternoon, amazing parents. Today, I want to talk to you about something that is very important and vital in regards to parenting, but is often misunderstood, and that is crying. The other day, I was walking into Walmart and I saw a mom coming out, and she had a little boy, probably about less than 2 years old, and he was standing up in the cart facing her as she pushed the cart out, and he was crying. He was like, ah, and you could hear in the cry that, he was sad, and I'm sure it was something that he wanted that his mom said he couldn't have. And the mom's posture was very, firm, not angry or aggressive in any way, but she was just stern, like, I'm not hearing you. And that's exactly what broke my heart and what prompted me to determine that I would get on here and share with you, because this is so common for parents to do, because we see crying as resistance to what we want. Our child asks for something, we tell them they can't have it, and they cry. And so we see, oh, they're not accepting what I'm saying, they're resisting me. And we see it as this, but it's really an opportunity for this, because crying is a language, and it's not a language of logic. You think about when you cry, it's because you're sad, you have an emotion. Crying is a language of the heart. And um, because a child's desires are a young child, like 2, 3, 4, even up to about 8 years old, when they have the ability to differentiate between fact and fiction, a desire, especially for a toddler, is the same thing as a need. It doesn't, in their mind, they can't separate those two. If they want something, it's a need. And they're wired that way. And it's a good thing for survival and learning and developing, because otherwise they wouldn't play if they didn't have a curious desire to explore things. And so they're motivated by desire. And honestly, if you go back to the beginning of time, when God created mankind, he put Adam and Eve in a garden called desire, which is what Eden means. And so as human beings, if you think about it, what motivates you is your desire for something better, a desire to improve your life in some way. When you're hungry, you eat because it makes you feel better. It improves the way you feel. It gives you energy. You sleep because you're tired. You go to the gym because it makes you feel good to work out and exercise. Everything we do, you work because it gives you a better life. Everything we do is actually driven by desire. Now, sometimes as adults, we do things out of compulsion, but in the end, we wouldn't do them if it wasn't our desire for whatever result that was giving us. And work is a good example of that. We may not like our work, and we may just say we go because we have to, but the reality is we work because we know that it gives us a better life so that we can have the things we need. So back to the child crying. When the child is crying, he's expressing his heart. Like, I didn't get a desire, something that I felt like I needed. So when you resist that cry, and you just, like the mom did, she just put on that, I'm not hearing you. You're talking to a brick wall. Then we're sending actually that message to our child that I don't hear your needs. They're not important to me, and I'm not going to respond to them. And so that creates that mentality in your child that he's on his own. He's got to get his own needs met, and you're not there to help him. But I'm not trying to make you feel bad, but that's just really kind of what's going on in the child's world. And that's why they, when you hear them cry and we resist their cry, it often becomes more intense, and it will often escalate to a tantrum. And that's actually, a tantrum is the ultimate cry for help, the ultimate cry to be heard, because the child hadn't been heard at a lower level, at a lesser cry. And so he escalates that cry until you respond. So, a more helpful way to respond to a cry is not that we have to give our children everything they ask for or comply with every desire. For example, this mom coming out of Walmart, the child probably wanted candy or a toy that it just wasn't the right time for her to grant this request, which is fine. I'm not saying that you should give your child everything they cry for. What I'm saying is that we should respond to their desire in a different way that will send opposite signals that we do understand, that we are there to help them, and that they can depend on us. And so when the child's crying for something that he can't have, and you tell him no, what he hears is, I can't have what I feel like I need. So what we want to do instead is to hear the desire, empathize, and that's it. You don't have to grant the desire. So what would that look like? When the child says, oh, mommy, I want this candy bar, or I want this toy truck that I saw. All you have to do is say, oh, wow, yes, that candy bar looks really yummy. I like those. So you're not saying yes or no, you can have it. You're just sending that message that you understand the desire, and that it's a valid desire to want that yummy candy bar, and that you understand, and that's all. You don't say yes or no. And the child may respond with, can I have it? And then when you say, we're not going to buy the candy bar right now, maybe another day, or the truck, or whatever it is, then the child, you're responding on a foundation of empathy where you've already sent the message that I hear your cry or your desire, and I understand it, and I agree it's a good desire, but it doesn't mean you're going to grant it. So you have that foundation where the child goes, well, I know she understands what I asked because of her first response. And he's not doing this consciously, but he's responding automatically. So when you come alongside your child, he's like, she's on my side. She understands me. She's already validated my desire. And she's saying not right now. So, okay, I can accept that now because I know she understands. And really that's what the child needs, just to know that you understand and that you empathize. You can use this for disappointments, frustrations. I call it connecting, heart-to-heart connection. And it's vital to be able to do this in order to have influence in your child's life. Because when you connect with their heart, that's where life happens. And if you shut that off and you ignore it by ignoring their cries when they're little, then they're not going to feel like you understand them when they get older. They're not going to confide in you. They're not going to share their heart, their hopes, their dreams with you, or their fears and anxieties as well. So start when they're little, empathize with their crying, understand that it's a time to connect and not resist, and you'll be laying a foundation for a strong heart-to-heart connection with your child for life. Thanks for watching. I hope this was helpful.